In the calm early hours of June 24, 2025, a Russian landing craft moved slowly across the Black Sea, hugging the occupied coastline. It advanced without urgency. No evasive maneuvers, no warning alarms, likely carrying troops and supplies. The vessel was a critical link in Russia's southern front logistics. But beneath the seemingly peaceful waves, danger was already closing in. About 30 kilometers offshore, a dark shape skimmed just above the water. No wake, no engine noise, no radar signature. It was the Magura V5, Ukraine's now feared unmanned surface drone. A silent hunter carrying over 300 kilograms of explosives, built for one mission only: strike fast, strike hard, and never return. Using advanced infrared sensors, the Magura didn't just detect its target, it tracked every movement in real time. Range, bearing, and impact angle were calculated autonomously with lethal precision. At exactly 5:13, the drone began its final attack run. Seconds later, it struck. The impact ripped through the landing craft's hull with brutal force. Almost instantly, a secondary explosion erupted on the rear deck, sending thick black smoke into the morning sky. The vessel buckled, flames engulfing its structure as it began to break apart. Ukrainian naval drones circled overhead, recording everything in crystal-clear footage. Within hours, the video spread across the internet. Millions watched a twisted, burning hull drifting helplessly on the water. The caption was simple and chilling: "Enemy landing craft destroyed near Kherson." But this was more than another drone strike. It was proof that Ukraine now controls vast areas of the Black Sea without traditional warships. It exposed how vulnerable Russian vessels have become, and shattered the illusion that old naval doctrines still work in modern warfare. What remains classified is the exact moment the Magura first locked onto its target. What is known is far more unsettling. The drone had been tracking the ship long before anyone on board sensed danger. Hidden beyond the visual horizon, masked by sea clutter and low radar visibility, it waited patiently. The Magura's design is a masterclass in stealth. Its low-profile hull and composite materials make it nearly invisible to radar. Passive sensors and satellite guidance constantly adjusted its course. No active emissions, no early warning. By the time the drone closed within 2 kilometers, it switched from stealth to full attack mode, accelerating to nearly 70 knots, over 130 kilometers per hour. It covered the final distance in under 30 seconds. The landing craft never reacted. For a brief moment, the Magura flickered into view, and then slammed into the hull. The strike was deliberate, hitting low and slightly off-center, exactly where troop compartments are usually located. If soldiers were on board, they had no chance. The blast tore through the hull plating. Secondary explosions, likely from fuel or ammunition, magnified the destruction. Flames spread rapidly. Debris and life rings scattered across the water as the ship listed heavily and lost all momentum. No distress call was sent. No return fire followed. Only thick black smoke rising into the dawn. Minutes later, Ukrainian operators confirmed the kill. The Magura V5 was lost in the explosion, a one-way weapon designed to vanish beneath the waves after delivering destruction. This was not just a tactical win, it was a strategic warning written in fire across the Black Sea. Tactically, these attacks rarely involve a single drone. They come in swarms, sea and air drones working together. One distracts, another probes defenses. The Magura V5 is often the final strike, the silent finisher. Built in secret workshops and launched from ports, trucks, and even civilian areas, these drones are remotely controlled from concealed bases deep inside Ukraine. They represent everything a conventional navy fears: unpredictable, difficult to trace, and nearly impossible to stop once in motion. Behind this strike was Ukraine's 385th Unmanned Surface Vehicle Brigade, a naval unit unlike any other in the world. No ships, no decks, no traditional sailors. Instead, a network of engineers, coders, and remote pilots operating from bunkers and command centers far from the coast. Formed quietly under Ukraine's Defense Intelligence Directorate in late 2023, the brigade stayed out of sight, both politically and on radar, but by the early 2020s, its capabilities surged. By mid-2025, it had become a decisive force in the Black Sea. Every strike is meticulously planned. Satellite reconnaissance, weather modeling, radar blind spot analysis, and intercepted Russian communications all feed into a single coordinated operation. Nothing is left to chance. Every meter matters. The operators come from Ukraine's growing military tech ecosystem, hackers, drone racers, and defense engineers trading uniforms for hoodies and keyboards, yet delivering lethal precision. Now, every Russian vessel along the southern coast faces the same question. Is the 385th watching? Is a Magura already on its way? Invisible, silent, and seconds from impact? This was more than a battlefield success. It marked a strategic shift. Ukraine is no longer just damaging Russian ships. It is redefining naval warfare in the Black Sea. Since early 2024, hundreds of aerial and maritime drone strikes have targeted Russian positions in Crimea, Sevastopol, and other occupied coastal zones. The Magura V5, though not the only system in use, has become the symbol of this new dominance. Speed, stealth, and software replacing ships and guns. The damage has been staggering. From January to May 2025 alone, Ukrainian sea drone operations inflicted more than $10 billion in confirmed losses on Russian naval assets. Destroyed vessels include multiple Raptor-class patrol boats, the intelligent ship Ivankurs, and the Caesar Kunikov, a major landing ship blown apart off Crimea's coast. This latest destruction near Kherson sends a clear message. No part of the Black Sea is safe. Not even the shallow waters Russia once believed were secure. Beyond the physical losses lies a deeper psychological impact. Russian forces can no longer operate predictably along the southern front. Maritime resupply has become dangerous, forcing reliance on slower land routes vulnerable to airstrikes and ambushes. Morale has suffered. In July 2025, Russia quietly scaled back its Navy Day celebrations in St. Petersburg, citing security concerns. But the truth is simple. Nations don't cancel military holidays unless they fear they can protect their own coastline. This fight is about far more than a single landing craft. It's a struggle for control of the Black Sea itself. Without a conventional navy capable of matching Russia's ship Warship, Ukraine built something entirely new, a fast, stealthy, lethal force that strikes and disappears before the enemy can respond. Traditional naval doctrines, hull size, and firepower matter less than ever. Russia is now forced to confront a terrifying question. What happens when your enemy doesn't need ships to sink yours? The smoking wreckage near Kherson already tells the story. Russian commanders are likely rewriting their transport plans as you watch this. Meanwhile, somewhere inside a reinforced bunker, another Magura is being prepared for launch. This will not be the last strike. Ukraine's drone operators now have a proven formula and growing confidence. Future missions will bring larger warheads, smarter AI routing, and coordinated drone-on-drone tactics. The ocean no longer belongs to the biggest ship. It belongs to the fastest mine. The message to Moscow is simple. You can't guard every wave. So what comes next? Should Ukraine continue bleeding Russian logistics by targeting support vessels, or risk striking larger, high-value warships? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. You're clearly someone who looks beyond headlines to understand what's really happening. And remember, whether it's a billion-dollar frigate or a drone the size of a kayak, there's always more happening beneath the surface.